So Logan Paul has responded to CoffeeZilla, and he is not willing to. He's going to fight over whether or not CoffeeZilla's free witnesses. Two of them are in Portugal. One of them, I believe, is in New Zealand, and these were individuals who were scammed by CryptoZoo. Now, again, is Logan Paul? This is a defamation case. And in a defamation case, if you can prove that the person is a scammer and it is true, then there is no defamation. That the truth is a defense to any defamation claim. So maybe that is what CoffeeZilla is going to show, how it impacts these individuals, their livelihoods. And they seem like pretty decent witnesses, right? They're going to spend their time and many times also money. Time is money. So plaintiff's opposition to defendant's motion for leave to take videotaped depositions of Durant Campos de Olivia, Martins Campos de Olivia, and Kara on Craig. I believe the two brothers are in Portugal, and Kara on Craig is in New Zealand, kind of showing you just how far-reaching that the CryptoZoo scam was. Defendant's motion, which totals less than 5 pages, betrays a fundamental lack of appreciation for the fact that depositions of foreign nationals in foreign countries are an entirely different animal than domestic depositions of deponents who are subject to the laws of U.S. and the jurisdiction of its courts. Steps must be taken to ensure the proposed manner of taking the depositions is lawful, and there are assurances that the witness will be sworn to testify truthfully. Here, defendants have either failed to consider or have consistently thought to bypass important procedural requirements that must be satisfied before a foreign deposition can be approved. Now, as a lawyer, I agree with this. Different countries, different laws. So a deposition in the U.S., if you lie, you're going to go to jail for perjury. In other countries, you may not. Defendants seek to take remote depositions of 2 individuals in Portugal and 1 individual who resides in New Zealand, but they make no effort to demonstrate that Zoom depositions are permissible in those countries. As to the Portugal defendant or the depositions, second, defendant does not appear to have given any consideration to the distinct requirements that the federal rules of civil procedure impose in the context of foreign depositions. Defendants seem to believe they can depose these individuals remotely with a U.S. court reporter joining by Zoom. This is not correct. Finally, even if defendants have checked the necessary boxes before seeking approval for taking these depositions, the court, in its discretion, should hold that these depositions must be taken in person, if at all. Here, the questionable prohibitive value of these depositions is outweighed by legitimate concerns about the ability of plaintiff to verify these individuals' identity, to verify the truthness of their testimony. Argument: deposition of Portugal-based dependents cannot be conducted remotely under Portuguese law. At the outset, as to deponents de Oliva, defendants have failed to meet their threshold burden of establishing that remote depositions of these non-parties are permissible under the laws of Portugal, where the would-be deponents reside. The court cannot rule on the motion as to these free witnesses just yet because parties have not addressed or demonstrated the remote deposition in Macau would be legal, recognizing so who the hell is in Macau? Is that like the developer guy? Is he like hiding out in Macau right now? I don't know. You can see how expensive this would be. Look at the countries: Macau, New Zealand, Portugal. These are very expensive countries to fly a witness in to get depoted for a day or two and then had to fly back. It should be determined at the outset if notice depositions are illegal under the law of a particular foreign country. Here, defendants have not attempted to establish the notice deposition. According to the U.S. State Department Bureau of Consular Affairs, the Portuguese Central Authority has informed the Hague Conference on Private International Law that depositions in Portugal, Portuguese, and third-party nationals may only occur in a Portuguese court proceeding. I did not know that. I do think that there is a severe difference, and this is probably a money difference that it looks like, in my opinion, Logan Paul's lawyers, and now he has 3 different teams of lawyers, so you can chalk it up to that, or you can chalk it up to one of them being really good. It doesn't look like international law is going to be applied here, which would make sense. Every country has its own laws about depositions and perjury and lying under oath and what is under oath. Defendants have not demonstrated compliance with FRCP 28 and 30, as to all the would-be depositions. Defendant has also failed to demonstrate compliance with Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 28 and 30, or to present the court for any plan on doing so. They're going for the throat. I mean, I think he's right. Furthermore, the word before in Rule 28B1D requires the witness and the person who administrates the oath to be in the same place. It's not bad. That's for Logan Paul. This is particularly important because the person administrating oath must not only verify the opponent's identity, but also authorize to administrate the oath. The requirement that the witness be properly sworn to give truthful testimony is an important one. Numerous federal courts, including in this circuit, have required the party seeking a remote foreign deposition to demonstrate a plan for compliance with this requirement before approval will be given for the deposition to proceed. I think it would be in CoffeeZilla's best interest to find some clients in the US and Texas, maybe closer to San Antonio. I'm not exactly sure why CoffeeZilla specifically wants to depot a person in New Zealand and 2 people in Portugal. There's got to be way more, not way more, but there's got to be a sizable amount of people who were scammed from CryptoZoo in America. And CoffeeZilla in his documentaries has talked to them. So I thought it would probably be easier for him to, depot a U.S. citizen living in the U.S. and not have to deal with these international requirements. There are international requirements, and this is how Logan Paul probably going to win. He makes a good point. It's a point that, again, if you're it's A suing B, and you're A, then yeah, you do want to make sure that the laws in a certain country are similar to the U.S., and you do want to make sure that if somebody lies, that someone is not incentivized to lie in those countries without punishment. Even putting aside your procedural infirmities that doom defendant's motion, the request to take these depositions by remote means should be rejected. But nobody's demanding these witnesses travel to and appear in the U.S. to give testimony, nor would federal rules allow either party to compel them to do so. The alternative to a remote deposition is not that witnesses travel to the United States for deposition, but rather the party's counsel travel to the witnesses and take, oh shit. There you go. So, it looks like, oh, wow. There you go. Logan Paul with infinite money can send his free legal teams to Portugal to do depositions. So his argument actually really solid. Hey, we can fly. We are happy to fly to Portugal or New Zealand and do these depositions live. Are you with us, CoffeeZilla? And you can imagine how expensive this is. Macau, New Zealand, it's like a world adventure, right? Yeah, yikes. Yeah, if I made a previous video last week. If you don't think this is Logan Paul's punishment for CoffeeZilla to just spend out as much money as he has, then this is more proof that, yeah, that is exactly what Logan Paul is attempting to do. Hey, they don't need to fly to us. Let our expensive legal team, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Bye, guys.